everybody, it's Maddie here from the Northern Rockies Museum, and thanks for joining us for our episode on Superhero Academy. This is episode 8 of Quarantine. If you did purchase one of our packages, please get all of your supplies out for today. You're going to need a few things. So you are going to need a paper cup. You're also going to need, and this wasn't in the package, you are going to need a balloon. Whatever color, it doesn't matter. You're going to need some things to color with. So pencil crayons work great. I'm going to use hot glue because it's going to make my life way easier. But you can use a glue stick or tape. That totally works too. And a pair of scissors and extra glue sticks if you are using a glue gun. And that should be pretty much it for today, plus all of the printables, and you can find the printables on our website. And if you are enjoying our printables, you can go check out more of them on Teachers Pay Teachers. We do have our own account up there. And we'd also appreciate if you could share and like this video. It really helps the museum out in more ways than you can ever know. And you can also give a small donation to the museum on our website. It's right in the top corner, super easy to find. So, without further ado, we are ready to start episode 8, Superhero Academy. So you guys should have your capes that you made yesterday with Tara. And this is the one that I did with a green shirt. So I changed it into the Superhero Academy logo. But I made a real cape for my superhero. So I'm going to take off my glasses. It's part of my everyday look, you see. And I am going to put on my Northern Rockies Museum headband here, or crown, whatever you want to call it. A museum crown. And then I am going to put on my cape here. Over top. There we go. So here is my cape. Aha! And this is my very special pocket watch, and it allows me to travel in time, which is part of my superpowers here. So I'd love to hear more about your guys' superpowers and what you guys look like, so you can post pictures in the comments. We would really appreciate that. So first things first, we are going to grab our Superhero Academy books here. So it should be 3 pages that are double-sided that look like this. And if you did pay for our packages, we printed them the wrong side, so they're a bit backwards. So sorry for that. I will show you which pages you need. So you're just going to take all 3 of the pages that we gave you, and you're just going to fold them in half. All together, all at once, really easy, right down the middle. Just going to fold them right down the middle. So here we have our Superhero Academy, which is superhero school, which all of you guys are going to be a part of today as we try to figure out what your powers are and what makes your superhero so special. So grab a writing implement, and I'm going to take this fabulous purple pencil crayon here, and we are going to begin our journey through Superhero Academy. So let's turn to the very first page. And the very first page that you'll see is, and I'll just fold this so it's easier to see, we want to go to our Superpowers page. You guys see that? Superpowers page. And so we've got 4 boxes here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And each one of those boxes has a list of superpowers, and they each have their own weaknesses. So you can pick up to 4 superpowers. But the more superpowers that you have, the more weaknesses that you're going to have. So if you have, let's say, between 1 and 2 superpowers, between 1 and 2, you are going to need 1 weakness. And if you have between 3 and 4, you are going to need 2 weaknesses. So I'm just going to read off all of the superpowers that you could have. So you could have animal communication, animal control, super sense, night vision, laser vision, telepathy, mind control, invisibility, super camouflage, x-ray vision, flight, super speed, super strength, underwater breathing, super flexible, weather control, super healing, super intelligence, controlling an element, traveling through time, and shape shifting. So I already know what I am going to pick for my superhero's powers. So I am going to pick animal communication. So I'm just going to circle that. That's in the first box. And I'm also going to do travel through time because, of course, I told you guys that I have my time travel pocket watch there. So I'm just going to do travel through time. And my animal communication is going to come in real handy because my sidekick is Pedley the pack horse, the museum's mascot. He's my right-hand man. So now I need to pick a weakness for me because I only have 2 superpowers, and you can pick them from the boxes that I circled one in. So I actually am going to pick lightning as my weakness, that I won't be able to handle lightning. Now make sure when you are planning out your superhero that you don't make the fatal mistake of making your strength also your weakness. So let's say you picked underwater breathing as your superpower, but then you put your weakness as water. Well, your superpower doesn't work really good if you can't breathe underwater because it makes you afraid or it's your weakness. So make sure that you work together with your powers and your weaknesses to give you the best superhero that you possibly can. So we're going to go to our next page. And the next page should say Origins. You guys see that? Origins. So every superhero has an awesome origin story. So if you think of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he got bit by a radioactive spider and it turned him into Spider-Man. You could also, think about Superman. His planet was destroyed and he was sent to Earth and he grew up with humans, even though he is not a human, and that's how he became Superman. So there's lots of different origin stories like that. So I'm just going to read out the origin stories and then you guys can pick which one suits you. So how did you get your superpowers? Were they passed down from your parents? So that would be similar to Superman. You got a bite from a radioactive spider, or animal, that would be Spider-Man. You were part of an experiment. Do you guys know any superheroes that were part of an experiment? There's actually a fair few, but I'm specifically thinking of the Hulk, right? He was an experiment gone wrong, and that's why when he gets angry, he turns big and green. You are an alien from another planet, and that's a lot of different superheroes that could fit into that one. You were struck by lightning. That could be like the Flash. You took special training from a master on a mountaintop. That's like Doctor Strange. You sneezed too hard. That's not a real one, but I thought it was pretty good. An alien gave you a bracelet that gave you powers. That's like the Green Lantern. He got a ring though. Or you created your own superpowers through science. So I think for me, how did I get my superpowers? This is a hard one. I think I'm going to say I took special training from a master on a mountaintop, and I am going to say the mountaintop is Rosh Mayet, which is the mountain right outside of Hinton. Rosh Mayet. So please write your super name below. Make sure it matches your powers and abilities. So I have come up with my superhero name. My superhero name is going to be Momentia. Momentia is my superhero name. Now, don't worry if it takes a while to come up with your superhero name. Believe me, it took me a while to think of that one. And we could be through all of the activities today and you still don't have it. The name is the most important thing, really. It's one of the most important things. So take your time. You really got to establish a great name for your awesome superhero. Do you have a sidekick? Well, I've already told you guys my sidekick's name. It is Pedley the pack horse, the museum's mascot, Pedley the pack horse. And me and Pedley ride through history, saving the day. But the real question is, who is our enemy? Who is our arch nemesis? We think of Batman. He's got so many. He's got the Joker and the Riddler and Penguin. So there's a whole bunch of different ones for him. And you think of Superman, he's got Lex Luthor. So I want you guys to think of a name for your arch nemesis, the enemy, that kind of works against what you do, right? It's just your enemy is working against you. So for me, because I am saving history, I think that my enemy's name should be something that goes against history. So I think I'm going to call my enemy Future Boy. Future Boy does not appreciate history, and he could care less what happens to it. So I'm going to write Future Boy down for my bad guy. But the question is, how did we become enemies? So I'm just going to read off a couple of the options here at the bottom. So they were jealous because you were just so cool. You sneezed on your sandwich, which could also be the reason why you got your superpowers in the first place. You were best friends, but they liked evil things and you did not. You were just so pure of heart. They were trying to steal your powers. You spilled ketchup on their pants. Maybe they were white pants. Maybe they were brand new. That's just horrible. Or they just really wanted to be the bad guy. So I'm going to say Future Boy was just so jealous of my time travel abilities that he decided to become my enemy. He wants this so he could travel into the future. And I need to protect that too. So now that we've got all of our origins done there, we've finished filling that out, we can turn to the next page. And the next page is super image, our super image. So there's 4 boxes in there again, and they're grouped into head, body, legs, arms, and equipment. And so you can pick from these lists what you would like your superhero to look like. And after you're done with that, you can actually take these printables. So see, I've got this printable here, and then this one, and then there's also our girl one. So you can pick which one you want to be. So I'm going to pick the girl one for my character here. And I am going to pick which of these pieces I would like to add to this picture here, and I'm going to color them in, and then we are going to cut them out and glue them onto our character. So very important to pick which colors are going to represent your superhero. You think of Batman, he's black, which is perfect for him because he is in the dark a lot. It wouldn't be very good if Batman was dressed in, like, you know, hot pink or neon green. It just wouldn't be very good. So since my cape is blue to start with, I am going to color the cape on here blue. So you guys can start coloring along too. And you can find our printables on our website. And like I said before, we do have printables on our Teachers Pay Teachers website as well, or section on Teachers Pay Teachers. So we're going to color in all of this here. Make sure she's got a really nice cape. As Momentia, I want a nice billowing cape because they look pretty cool. So color in all of the areas in there, and you guys could add some like really fancy shading in here too if you wanted. And it's also a good idea to mark down which pieces you want to color before you start coloring them. So let's say I wanted the cape, and I wanted that shirt, and I wanted those boots. You put a check mark by them so you remember which ones you want, and then you can color them all. So almost done coloring my cape in here. Color all of this in. Awesome. So I've got my cape done. There's my cape. I need some hair, and I think this is the closest one to my hair, and I am going to do it kind of a blonde color here. So we're going to add that in. You don't have to do it for your own hair color. You could do some crazy hair color too. That's always fun. like your hair color changes when you transform into the superhero. Just gonna leave mine a yellowy color for now though. Like that. And since we don't really have a crown that matches mine on here, I'm gonna make this one here work for me. You guys can see that one right there. So I'm gonna color it in to kind of resemble mine. Make sure, nice job coloring it all in, and I'm just gonna write NRM in the middle of this. NRM. For the museum's name. Great. Oh, I need boots. Boots is important. So I should probably do some nice dark blue boots, I think. And if you don't like any of the pieces on this, you could also draw your own. And to make sure that it's the exact same size as the person that you were putting this on, you can take this piece of paper and trace the outline of the person. That's how I originally made all of these pieces for this. And that's how you can make your own pieces too. And there's nothing saying that you can't use some of the accessories from the boys on the girls and vice versa. All right. And I think she's going to have, my superhero is going to have a skirt too. So I'm just gonna add color in this skirt on here. But lots of superheroes have just wear their underwear over top of some leotards, right? I know it seems kind of funny. It's all like their captain underwear as they're saving the day. Great. And I am just going to add some color onto this one here too. So let's find another blue for my girl. Actually, I think I'm going to do this dark color here. So I'm just going to color her legs in. All the way down. And these are really cool too, because you could add in like a city scene in behind. So say your superhero had just saved the day. So you are flying above the city that you just saved. That would be kind of cool. All the way up. I'm going to make my own shirt here for her. It doesn't have to be too perfect too, because we are adding stuff that's going to go over top. You could also, instead of doing your own superhero on here, you could do your sidekick, or you could do like your arch nemesis. So you did get a boy and a girl superhero in your package if you got the packages from us, so you could do that as well. And then I'm just going to do my skin. I need some skin color here, and I'm just going to color in my face really quick here. Face and my hands, because my hands aren't white. Pretty white, but not paper white. And hands. So here's my character. She looks kind of funny right now, but we're gonna add the pieces that we colored onto her. So I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna start cutting this out now. I'm gonna start with her skirt. So just taking my scissors, and I'm going to move my paper along the edge of her skirt here. And that. And here's her skirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on her. See how this fits. Ooh, I think that's pretty good. I'm liking it. I am liking it. I am going to cut out her cape now. Be careful with the cape because it has to go around her arm. So there's some kind of thin pieces and you don't want to cut those off. So just go nice and slow when you're cutting. And thanks to everybody who has given us suggestions. We really appreciate all of that. It helps us make a better show in the future. Okay, and just cutting out the other part of her arm shape in the cape here. And out her arm goes. Just arm, and then the rest of her cape. Okay, so here is her cape is now done, and I can glue this onto it. So I'm just going to make sure it all lines up properly here before I glue it down. That'd be bad if it didn't. So I'm just going to add the neck on here first. Put that neck on. Line it all up there. Looks pretty good. Make sure her skirt is on the right side of this. Oh, now I can glue it down. Great, she's looking awesome. All right, hair. Hair is important, so let's get some hair. I'm gonna cut out my hair. And there's 3 different types of hair on here that you could use. So there's short, and then there's kind of curly hair too. Or you could draw your own hair too. All right, and ooh, her hair is very wavy and long, I guess. So here is her finished hair, all cut out, and I'm going to glue this on now. Great. Now she's got some hair. She's really coming along. I'm liking it. And how about the headband? So let's cut this headband out. All the way around. That one was super easy to cut out. Oh, I almost lost it there. All right, so I'll put this on her head. Great. And her boots. Last part. Oh boy, she's gonna look pretty cool, and I'd love to see what you guys finish, what your pictures look like when you are all done. And the boots are done, so now I'm just gonna add these on. This will be the last part for my girl. Great. I think she turned out pretty good. So this is my superhero, and I'm going to write her name on here too. So Momentia. This could also be like your comic book cover for the comic you make for your very own superhero. So you're all done, so you can clear off your workstation and hang this on your fridge or wherever else you'd like to. Before we go, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things that you could add to your costumes too, or to your character. So on a couple of the sheets, you'll see that it says a bracer on there. So a bracer is something that covers your forearm. It's this part right here. And a gauntlet is something that covers your fingers and then up your wrist as well. So when you think of Thanos from the Avengers, he has a gauntlet and it covers his hands right and up here. So this is one that I had made from a costume a while ago, and this is a gauntlet here. So that's something you guys can make. And then a bracer, of course, is just if you want to put this on your arm. That part. And then I know that Tara showed you guys my She-Ra costume, so you guys can make really fancy crowns for your costume or for your paper doll that you made, like this too. I just made this out of craft foam, and you can get that at Walmart. And then you also want to think about what is your weapon of choice. So this is a sword that I made from one of my costumes for one of my superheroes that I did. And sometimes you need a sword, but sometimes superheroes don't need any weapons. They can just use other powers to save the day without hurting anybody. So maybe that's what kind of superhero you are, which would be pretty cool too. So our next project that we're going to do is we're going to do our superpose. So that is the next page in your book. And the superhero pose game is really easy. I'm not going to be going over it too much here because it's not so much fun with just me doing it by myself. But you will have a printable like this in your package. And it has these in here. So I'll need you guys to cut these up, and it's pretty much like musical chairs. So you spread them around a room and you play some music or whatever it may be, and you jump around to each of the spots. And when the music stops, you have to hold the pose that is on the card. So let's say you do the lion or the lunge pose. And this is all just a warm up for you, so you can really choose what the best pose or stances for your superhero. When you think of superheroes, they've always got some awesome pose, you know, like where they're looking off into the distance, or they've got their arm up, or maybe they're like ready to punch, or they're crouching down low, or they're kicking up into the air. So once you've figured out what your pose is, you can put it on here, and then you can write down what the name of your pose is. So the next page is this one here, where it says target practice. And this one is oh so much fun. So we are going to need our scissors again. We're going to need hot glue, and I'm going to show you guys what we are going to be making. So we have, let me just grab it here, our little city street. Here, so we've got some trees and our bus, and then we've also got a building with our bad guy on it, and then we've got a couple of other buildings. Oops, there, got one more building here. So we've got our city that our bad guy is coming to destroy, and it is your job to save the day with your very first superhero shooter. So this is the shooter, and we use some pom-poms there to shoot at the bad guy. So we are going to make these buildings and our shooter today, right now, so that we can play this game. So the first thing you're going to need to grab is your printables. So make sure you grab your printables right now. It'll be the last one for today. Like this. And so mine are in black and white. They're not as much fun, but I will show the color versions of the finished building so you know which one I'm talking about. But the first page we're going to need to grab is the one that has the super villain on the top in the circle, and it's got the helicopter landing H on it. So we're going to use this as our first page, and we are going to cut out along the dotted lines on the building and the solid line around the bad guy. So let's start by cutting out the building. Just cut all the way around the edge. And if you did get a package from us, we did not include a balloon, which you will need for this. So we were just afraid of some latex allergies for that. So you can go and get a balloon. You can use a nitrile glove for that as well. And I know that lots of people have those gloves at home right now, so you can go and grab one of those and make do with that. So I have the first part of my first building done. I'm going to put it in a pile over here so I remember it. Now I'm going to cut out the bad guy right here. I'm going to cut all the way around the outside edge. there. There's my bad guy. So I cannot lose this piece. I do not want to lose this, so I'm going to put this over here so I don't forget it. And I'm going to get rid of this stuff here. Now I'm going to cut out this piece. So you'll see that there is a page that has a school bus on it, or the red bus. You want to cut out this top building here, the two walls, and it says building side or building one side. So that's what we want to cut off. We're going to cut all the way around our building. Great. So I'm going to put this piece on top of that last piece that I just did and put that in a pile. So that's building one pieces. So now we are going to cut out this square here. It should say building two roof. So we're going to cut out building two roof. Making it all the way around the edge. And we are going to make a pile for building two. Right beside pile for building one. And then we are going to cut out the roof for building three, and it'll say building three roof, and it should be red. So we are going to cut that out. And we are going to make a pile beside the building two pile for all of our building three components. There, so we're just going to make a pile here. And we're going to cut out our bus here, which is the last thing on this page. And we'll just make a pile for randoms, random extra pieces. There's our bus. I'm just going to put him here. So the next page that you want to grab is this one. It should be all blue, because we are doing this building right now. This is building two. So we're going to cut all the way along the dotted lines on this one. Go all the way down and around. So that's the next piece for building two. So I'm going to put that on my building two pile. And then I'm going to cut out this next blue piece. Should be blue on yours. And you should see two trees on that piece of paper. Two trees. So we're going to cut out the blue piece on that. Let me know what your guys' favorite superhero is. I would really like to know. Or maybe you don't have a favorite superhero, but maybe your favorite superhero is the one that you created today. And then we're going to cut out these two roads and the two trees, and we're going to put it in our random extra pile with the bus that we just cut out. So it may take some time to cut out the trees. I know they're kind of bumpy like clouds, so it's a little difficult. And maybe you don't want any trees. Maybe you don't want any trees in your city. So I'm just going to cut out one because I only want one. And I'm going to cut out these two pieces of road and put them on my random pile too. Great. And now I've got my two pieces of road. I'm going to put that on my random pile, clean up my workspace here. And I'm going to cut out my last part. So this is for my building 3 here. I'm going to cut all the way around the edge on this one. And take your time on these little kind of indents for the tabs. It can take some time. Practice does make perfect there. Not always perfect, but near perfect. And so I'm putting this on my pile number 3. And this is optional. You can cut this out. This is the cover for your superhero shooter for your paper cup. So that is an optional thing for you guys to put on as well. So now we can start assembling our buildings, and I am going to start with building number 1. And building 1 is the one that had the helicopter landing on the top. So I'm going to begin by folding all of the edges of this building. I'm going to start with all of the white tabs, and I'm going to fold them in. Sure, I'm folding them in. So I have the front, the printed side of my building down, and I'm folding all of the tabs so that I can see the word glue on the back side now. So fold all of them down. So I've got all of this side, and now I need to do these two over here. Great, and then the last one is the gray line down the middle here for the edge of our building. Great. Oh, I missed one more. This is right. We need this one right there, so we're gonna fold that guy. Right there. And then we're gonna take our next piece, and this one's really easy. We just need to fold down that one gray line. So I'm putting it flat on the ground, white front or white part up, and then I'm folding on the gray line. And now we have all of the pieces we need to make our first building. So the first thing we're going to do is glue our roof on. So we're going to take the tab on the top of the small wall. We're going to put glue on it, and we're going to tape the roof onto that tab. And hot glue does make this a lot easier, but you can use any type of glue or tape. Tape works too. Great, so I've got that on there, and now I am going to add this onto here. So I'm going to line up the small wall along this edge here. Small wall on that edge. So I'm going to put a bunch of glue just on that edge, and then I'm going to glue this down here. Make sure you use your hands to get in there, press it in nice and tight. Good. And then we need to glue the top on. So that's this piece onto here. We're going to glue that down. There, and then we need to glue the last two sides together. So we're going to start with the roof. So we're going to glue this tab and then put the roof or the wall onto there. And make sure you use your hands and pinch it together. So I'm going to stick my hands into the building, and I'm going to press down right there. And then we need to glue this long strip there to finish it off. Great. So here's our first building all done. There's one. Okay. Next we are going to do our building number 2. So let's start with the top. We're going to fold the 2 tabs on here. So fold them in. Fold them in. Great. And then we're going to fold all the tabs on this one. So putting the printed part down and the white part facing up. Fold that side, And then do all of the other tabs. And this guy's got quite a few tabs. I know this seems like a lot of work, but it's so going to be worth it, and you guys are going to be able to keep this around in your room too as kind of a display, which is fun. So we've got all of the tabs folded. Now we need to fold the edges. So you'll see that there's a darker part in the middle here, so we're going to fold on that. If you have it in color, it should be a dark blue line. We're going to fold on that dark blue line. And then again on that next dark blue line. Okay, so we have all of our parts folded. So we need to first take our roof, and we are going to attach our roof to the top of the tallest wall. The tallest wall, glue our roof onto there. I'm just going to add another glue stick into my hot glue gun. Let's go put some glue on here. I'm just going to stick that tab right on there. So we should have something that looks like this. And then we're going to do this wall. I'm going to glue it on this side. So put some glue along here, there, and then put it down on the slanted side. So if you guys didn't see that already, we are going to have a slanted roof on this building. And then we're going to glue this tab right there. Cute. And now we just have our last wall. And this one is a little tricky because you can't really get your hand into this building as easily as the other ones. So we're just going to do it a little bit at a time. So we're going to add glue on the roof first. Let's put a bit of glue onto the roof and stick that on first. And once that's dry, you can add a little bit of glue down each of the sides. Don't go all the way down. I'm just going to go a couple of centimeters at a time here. Once it's dry, repeat. And you'll just keep doing that all the way down. And if you can get your hand in there, because you guys are smaller than me, try to get in there. Or you can use a ruler too. Stick that in there and hold it in place. Like I am too. Using that to press down the glue. Alright, and I just have this one last little flap to kind of glue down. Great. So here is our next building, all done. And our last building, so this one's really easy. It only has two parts. We've got a roof and we've got all of our walls. So we are going to start by folding all of the tabs. So putting the printed part down and fold all of the tabs back. All back. And if you have this building at home and it's printed in color, it should be a lovely shade of, it's like a bricky red. So I folded all of my tabs, and now I need to fold on the light gray lines, or the gray lines if it's in color, to get the edges of my building. So we're folding to get the edges. Here, so there is one fold, so we've got a fat wall, and now I'm going to do a thin wall, and then a fat wall. Great. And our last one is this one right here. Alright, so we're just about done building 3. So we are going to first glue the roof on. So we're going to take one of the long edges, tabs, and we're going to glue the roof onto that long edge. So match up your edges as best as you can. The longer you take in lining up all of your edges, the better your buildings will hold up and the better they will look too. And they're actually a lot easier to put together too when you have them all in the right place. So I did just glue the next side here, right there, that short side, and I'm going to now glue this side, and then I'm going to glue that side. Alright, so the next side here, gluing on the top, and I'm going to put down that, and then we just got that one last top piece. Great. So we just have to glue down this edge here. So I'm just going to stick my hand in there, glue all the way down, and then I'm going to use my hand to kind of push it along the paper so the glue sets and it's nice and firm. Great. So here are our 3 buildings, and we need to make our kind of street scene. So in the one I made before, I had a long road, but I think this time I'm going to do like an intersection. So I am going to glue them like this. So I'm going to put some glue on the bottom there. And so I've got like an intersection like that. And then I am going to put my bus on. So I'm going to fold the bottom of my bus. Bottom of my bus, and I'm going to put that onto my road here. So I'm just going to glue that guy, put him on the road. And then I'm going to add one tree right over here. I'm going to fold the tab, and I'm going to glue it so the tab sits underneath my road so you don't see the tab. It just looks like a lovely tree on the side of the road. And you guys could add a whole bunch of different things to your city too. You could add like some park benches or garbage cans or some pedestrians. Alright, so here is my intersection. And then I can place my buildings accordingly here. So I'm going to put building there, building there, building there. And then I've got my bad guy, and I'm going to add a bit of tape onto the back of this. So I'm going to put some tape on here and add it onto the back of your superhero. Just right here. And I'm going to stick him onto that building there. Awesome. So here's my bad guy. Sorry, not my superhero, my bad guy. And now we need to make our shooter. So grab your paper cup that you had, and you're going to want to grab your balloon. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to cut our balloon in half. So here is the part that you blow into, and then the part that gets nice and big, and we're going to cut that round part in half. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it in half. So I have kind of a, looks like a swim cap almost for my balloon. And you want to cut the bottom out of your cup. So just take a pair of scissors and just cut that bottom right off, and you are going to stretch this balloon over top of the bottom like this, and then just tape it into place. And that should be good enough for your shooter. And then you can take some pom-poms, like I have here. See that pom-pom? And you pinch the bottom of your shooter, and then you just, whew, I don't know if you guys saw that, but they shoot pretty good. So I'm just going to try this one more time here. See that? It went right over top of the camera, that one. So you can use this for your target practice game. So you have your buildings all set up, and you have your villain on this building here. So it would be on top of the gray building. according to your target practice sheet, and you want to try to hit him without destroying the rest of your city, because the best superhero saves the day without hurting anybody and without destroying the city. So you want to try to hit all of these marks on this page without wrecking anything else, and it is a challenge, so I wish you guys luck on that one. So for the rest of the Superhero Academy book, it's things that you guys can do on your own. There's a recipe for slime in here for some super science. There's also a rescue class mission. So these are fun tasks for you guys to get creative and try to solve these problems that we have here, and all of the instructions are on this page. There's a super decoding page here and a coloring page for you to come up with this paint by number. And then just some area for notes. And after you've got this all done, you can sign off as an honorary superhero here. And that is everything we have for Superhero Academy. So I hope you guys can join me tomorrow. We are going to be making superhero puppets, and that will be the last of our Superhero Academy. And the puppets are really cool because their arms and their legs move when you pull a string. And you guys will get to design them however you want. If you like this video, please like and share it, and please tell everybody you know about quarantine. That really makes a big difference for the museum, especially when we can't be open at this time, and that is one of our biggest money makers, is admissions and our tours. So please consider sharing and liking this video. Check out our Teachers Pay Teachers account, and please consider making a donation on our website as well. So thank you very, very much, and I hope to see you guys out tomorrow.